Record on this computer. Okay. Hi everybody. Welcome back to my podcast. So I'm actually recording this on Zoom because it is weirdly really easy. Like I can record the video and also it saves the audio separately, which hello for this video podcast. That's amazing and very helpful. So I really like this version. And I'm also using my phone camera because you can use your phone as the camera instead of your laptop. So we also get really good quality. Love that. So I actually got ready to film a different video podcast, but we were scheduling that. And I was like, you know what? I did my makeup, so might as well just film one for my own. So I guess so whenever I have thoughts like that I want to talk more about, I try to write them down in like my little notes app on my phone. And there's been this thing that I've been thinking about lately, which is like I feel like I'm a very defensive person. Depending on who it is, like who I'm feeling defensive against and like the situation I'm in. Like with certain friends of mine, like if they have feedback for me or if they need to like tell me something that maybe like I did that hurt their feelings or something that I did wrong, I'm way more open to that conversation. I think because we've established a safe place to talk about those things without it feeling like I don't know, I think I have a lot of trauma with people being mad at me, like especially with my parents. Um, I always was made to feel like everything was my fault and everything that I did made things go wrong. So when that happens in my friendships, or if I did something that didn't sit well with someone else, I very much go back into that like shell almost where my inner child is like crying and freaking out that I'm going to lose the someone else. Not that I've like lost my parents in that sense, but I think that theme of like not feeling good enough for people is very much just a theme in my life that I really want to work on, because no one wants to feel like they're not good enough. Who wants to feel that? Um, so I think about scenarios a lot and how they can end and how I hope that I act and respond. I feel like in any kind of confrontation, and I'm trying to unlearn the confrontation such a bad thing and a bad word. It doesn't always have to be angry or like combative. It's a way of like asserting yourself. And I think about like there are people in my life right now who I wish I could just like confront and talk to about really hard things. And I kind of like have these like scenarios in my head where I finally like just say fuck it and like talk to them about it. And, you know, but even when I think about it, I get really nervous and my chest gets tight and I get really shaky and I'm sweating. And I hate that. I hate it. And I remember my therapist was like, well, if you change your thoughts, it's going to change how you feel because it's very like cognitive behavioral stuff. Because with cognitive behavioral, it's like your thoughts dictate your feelings, and then your feelings dictate how you act. And she was like, if you just don't think that, then maybe you'll be fine. You have to practice it. And I've tried. I've really tried to just like take deep breaths, meditate. Um, but admittedly so, I'm not meditating as much as I really should be. Should be as in like I'm not meditating enough to where it makes me feel good. And I know what makes me feel good. I am not making the time for it. Um, but even when I do that, my body just takes control and my body's like, you're nervous. I know you're telling yourself you're not, but you are, and you feel on edge. And then that prevents me from speaking in a way that's productive and kind. And sometimes I just want to lash out, and that's not productive. So then I end up not saying anything at all because I can't not lash out to advocate for myself. And that's really frustrating because I have friends who do it so beautifully. They set boundaries and they are able to say something when they feel uncomfortable in the moment. They don't like hold on to it, they don't second guess it. They're able to just say it unapologetically. And in a way that's very patient and kind. And the friend that comes to mind is Chrissia. Hopefully she's listening. But yeah, like she pushes me all the time to try and set boundaries and speak up for myself and practice it. And it's really hard because I know that like the way other people react is not something that is my responsibility, you know? It's not my responsibility to make sure people feel okay when I'm advocating for myself because at the end of the day, the way someone responds to you asserting your boundaries, and if you're doing it in a really just loving way for yourself and for the other person, if they react harshly, that's on them, you know? And I tell that to everyone. And yet for me, I'm just scared because I feel like I've set myself up to where I'm a very submissive, um, I'll do whatever you want or what's best for you person. And I'm really trying hard to break out of that. And it's really hard because a lot of the friends in my life that I have, I've known for like almost a decade or over a decade. And when you establish these roles, it's really hard to break out of them. But also, I'm like, I'm an adult. I can fucking change. We all change. It's fine. If we don't change, then, you know, we're not learning. Ooh, that, yeah. I think I heard that quote from somewhere. So I'm not going to take that as like an epiphany of my own. I'm pretty sure I remember that as a TikTok or like an Instagram post or something. And I just, I feel like setting boundaries is going to be the way for me to like actually love myself. I think I've been struggling with that lately in terms of like I think there's just been a lot of stress with school, body image stuff as per fucking usual. Like I haven't been to the gym in 2 weeks and I was going so consistently for I think since September, so like 2, 3 months. And then I went again and it was so stuffy because it's so cold. They had the heater on and I couldn't breathe. And then I was like, I gotta go. So I waited for Kevin in the car and I just felt so defeated and like my legs were kind of like cramping up. And I'm like, so it's really hard to feel like all your progress is just down the drain when you take a break from things. And I know it's not. I really want to go again. I think we're gonna go again on Tuesday. I feel like I know what makes me feel good and yeah, I'm not doing them, which I wonder if that's self-harm, you know? Like you know how people say like getting tattoos is self-harm or like I feel like self-harm is not it doesn't have to be big things. I feel like they can be small things. And maybe that's mine. Maybe that's mine. Oh, I gotta unpack that. But that's okay. We'll do that another time. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to go back to doing things that I know make me feel good. So like that means waking up early, having a nice chill morning, going to the gym first thing. I don't know. I get into this space where things are going really well and then I hop off and then they get bad again and then I hate myself for a while and I don't want to be in that cycle anymore. And I also hate when people are like, it's discipline. Sure, to an extent, but also that word is so harsh. I feel like I saw this TikTok of this creator where she was like, I hate the word discipline, and she is trying to be more intrinsically motivated rather than extrinsically. So she's not going for aesthetic, any kind of she's not going for any other reason other than to feel good. And I think that's where I need to kind of like go back to because I want to feel stronger. I want to feel like I can go up the stairs and not feel out of breath. You know what I mean? It's embarrassing to me when I like go up a flight of stairs and I'm like huffing and puffing and I don't like that. I don't like feeling like that. I don't like feeling weak in that sense, you know? So for me, I want that to be a motivation to keep going to the gym and to just get stronger and blah blah blah. Yes, there are reasons for me to want to like actually lose weight. for health reasons and admittedly aesthetic reasons, but mainly health reasons. And I just need to do that and be unapologetic about it too. But anyway, this went on a really weird tangent. So basically, I feel like I'm always on I wrote this is what I wrote in my notes app. I feel like I'm always on the defense, always defensive no matter what, and it's getting in the way of my empathy and compassion. And like I want to break out of like survival mode. I feel like it's so it's almost like I feel like if I'm not on the defense, I'm going to get hurt, which I think a lot of us do. But there's a difference between like being on defense and like just being aware and then being hyper vigilant. And I feel like I'm always hyper vigilant, which is a trauma response, but it's so exhausting. It's so exhausting. Um, and it just takes a mental toll, a mental and emotional toll on me. I feel like I can't focus. I feel like I'm worried and scared all the time about different things. Like, I think I've been more irrationally scared of like people that I love like getting hurt or dying. Like, if it's raining and like Kev is driving, I'll freak out because I don't want it. Because we can't control other things, and I'm always scared that people are gonna get hurt. I don't know. It's a really weird like choking feeling, and I'm scared that when I stop being hyper vigilant about it, then someone actually does get hurt, and I'm gonna knock on my head, knock on wood, because I don't have wood in here, I don't think. Not real wood anyway. Um, and yeah, and I've tried doing the whole like, okay, worst case scenario, you know, this happens, and then what would you do? And it doesn't really work for me. I understand the whole point of that exercise is to be like, you can handle whatever life throws at you, but I don't want to think about the worst case scenario. That's what I'm doing. I think about the worst case scenario. And yes, I think about like what I would do in this situation, but like I don't want to think about that. That makes me just more stressed out. So I don't know. I don't know how to just accept the things I can't control and to accept that like people are going to be as safe as they can and accidents happen, blah, 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 blah. But going back to the original thought of like wanting to be more confrontational, or the thing that I thought about yesterday was the thing of like getting in the way of my empathy and compassion. So for me, when I can't really separate people from their actions in the sense where like if I'm trying to like say this without giving away too much exact information. Like if someone's work ethic isn't great and they're benefiting off of other people, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like using others as a way to like get to what they want. It could be at school, it could be at work, it could be um like networking, but like not like productive networking, but like using people networking. I can't like that person could be really cool and like a fine person, but when they do something like that, that's when I'm like, "Oh, I don't like you." And I feel like that's really harsh because people's actions like people can do bad things doesn't mean they're bad people, right? To an extent, because I refuse to listen to like Chris Brown and R. Kelly and blah 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 blah. Um, but it's just really hard for me to separate the two. But then like if they're going through something, maybe they're acting out of like also fear, right? Acting out of reasons that are valid and emotions and thoughts which are complicated and deeper than any of us really know or understand unless we talk to them. And even then, like things are always deeper. Um, and me being on the defense is getting in the way of my empathy and compassion. And I don't like that. But also, I don't want to be fucked over. And my brain is very like all or nothing, unfortunately, which is really bad. Um, so like I don't know. I don't want to excuse anyone's behavior or anything like that, but it's hard. I don't it's also that thing of like, do I want to be associated with people who act like this, who do these things? Like, can I just leave this at the door, you know? But I don't know how to do that. I don't know if I want to do that. I think I want to leave it at the door in the sense where I just don't want it to stress me out because whatever they do for themselves is for them and it's not going to affect me in the long run. I'm doing my own thing to the best of my abilities and that's all that I can do. And whether or not someone else just like doesn't see or like frame things in a similar way, then that's also valid. But that doesn't mean I have to like follow their lead, you know? I feel I don't know, I pride myself of being an empathetic and compassionate person. So when I feel these intense feelings of like frustration and disappointment, um, I feel guilty almost because I feel like an imposter. I feel like I'm not who I think I am. I'm not who I say I am, you know? But also I'm human and I don't have to like everyone. Not everyone has to like me, and that is the way the world works, kids. Okay. I just want to get to the point where I just don't give a fuck anymore, you know? And I know people say that like when you hit your 30s, that's when you really stop giving a shit. And it's like, okay, but I want that now. I want it now. I feel like I'm older than I am, so why can't I also like think older than what I am, you know? And I feel like this went on really rambly, but these are just the thoughts that I've had lately, and I think I'll probably dive more into it. Maybe I'll reflect more. I'll bring it up in therapy, blah 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 blah. But it did feel good to like just talk about it, and I didn't have like super big epiphanies like the last episode. But that's okay. You can't really. I feel like if you have epiphanies every time, they're just going to be less effective, you know? Also, my eyes feel so heavy. Do I look tired? To the people who are watching this, I feel like I look really tired. Um, like my eyes just feel like they're half closed. Not just because I'm Asian, but because I'm tired. Anyway, um, yeah, honestly, if anyone has anything to recommend in terms of like how to get out of this survival fight or flight mode, the hypervigilance, let me know. I really do think it's just a trauma response. Um, for those of you who are interested in like reading about how trauma manifests in the body, there's this book called The Body Keeps the Score by James. Oh God, what's his name? I'm gonna look it up right now because I can. The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk. It's really good. I'm gonna keep reading it over our winter break. It's brilliant. It's really heavy, obviously, because again, trauma is never light. But it's so cool. It's a really cool thing to learn about. So I don't know, maybe that book will have some insight for me. Maybe I just need to like get my finals done and then read that. But yeah, I have two more papers to do. We have two exams, and I'm ready to spend my winter break cleaning and catching up on my hobbies and stuff. So yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm not like utilizing hobbies, and I think I've been doom scrolling real heavy, like first thing in the morning heavy. And I saw this TikTok where this creator said that like if you it's like depending on like activities you do first thing that determines like where you're going to seek your source of dopamine from. So like if you're on TikTok or Instagram first thing in the morning, like as soon as you wake up, then your body is going to want to keep like checking it for that same dopamine feeling or serotonin. I always forget the difference between the two. But if you are productive, then your body's going to keep looking for that. So it's like stay off your phone for like an hour. Do be productive, I guess. Like get ready for the day, and then your body's gonna want to keep that like energy. So I gotta try it. I really gotta try it. I just get so lazy, you guys. Like I just want to like stay in bed. It's been so cold and the bed is so warm, but it's okay. It's all right. Um, yeah, this was kind of a chaotic episode, but when is it not? Thank you all for listening and joining, and I hope, I don't know, if this brought on any thoughts or feelings for you, I encourage you to maybe journal about it, talk about it, explore it. Um, and if you don't go through this, then amazing. I'm very happy for you. A little jealous, but that's okay. Um, yeah. So I will see y'all very soon. Um, until I find a new outro saying, I'll just keep with the same one because why fix what's not broken? Even though I feel like I've not outgrown it, but I think I can say something different. But anyway, remember, be yourself, spread love, stay beautiful, and I will see you very soon. Goodbye.